Meeting of August 25th, 2022 is now in session. The first order of business would be to approve the minutes, but we do not have a quorum for the minutes. So we're going to pass on that.
A quorum of people who are here for that meeting.
For that meeting, right. We have a quorum for this meeting, but we need certain people from the last meeting. That's correct, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Because
I was not.
you weren't here, okay. There are no resolutions, so we will now conduct the public hearings on today's agenda. The way we work it here is that first the applicant or the applicant's representative will state the reasons for the requested variance and present any material or documentation which is to be considered regarding the proposal. Next, persons wishing to speak in favor of the proposal will be given the opportunity to address the board. Then persons who wish to speak in opposition will be allowed to address the board. Finally, the applicant or a representative will be given the option to make any closing arguments or comments to the board. Following the public hearing this afternoon, the board may make a decision on each application heard. The board may also decide to hold this decision until the next public hearing. If the hearing is closed, no additional information will be allowed into the record except for information that the board may request. That information will be available for public review at the zoning office and City Hall Commons. I'm going to ask anybody and everybody who gets up to talk to first state their name and their address in every case, please. Staff will now introduce the first case.
Our first case this afternoon is V-16-01M2. It's a continuation. It's an area variance request to waive required residential parking at property located at 910 to 912 and 913 to 915 Park Street. The proposal is to establish 7 dwelling units, 1 restaurant, 1 office, and 1 storage space. The owner applicant is House SY1 LLC, and the district is local business class A.
And just to remind the board, this hearing is specifically to the required residential parking.
Excuse me, I'm William Pitcher Architect, representing the applicant. Just note that there has been revised documents given to you. On the application, there is, on the first page, a revised statement, excuse me, of the hours of operation. Basically, not serving drinks and kitchen after 10 p.m. and going to non-alcoholic beverages. The other changes that you'll find on the drawings is that the kitchen has been modified. It now has a full commercial hood and deep fat fryers for French fries and fried food and griddle. So the kitchen has been upgraded and expanded. The other issue on the parking lot, in discussion with zoning administration, is a 6-foot high stockade fence around the parking lot to the adjacent properties, and that's shown on drawing L2, the revision. So that conforms to the requirements of the zoning and doesn't require a variance. And we will get now to the photographs that were submitted. On Friday, August 5th, the first page of the photographs, these are the 4 streets at the intersection of Division and Park Street. And looking south on Park Street, we have 1 car in front of the building, no cars on the street. The second photograph, looking north, we have 2 cars. The third photograph, looking east on Division, we have 3 in the street and 2 in the driveway. And looking west, there were 3 trucks and 2 cars. So you can see that it's pretty sparse in terms of on-street parking demand. On the second page, this is Sunday, and the reason I chose Sunday is this is a weekend. And presumably, we would probably have more people at home because they wouldn't be working. And we find similar things. We find one car south, we find 3 cars north, east 1 car, and west 4 cars in the street about a block away. And finally, the third set of photographs are a Monday evening at 7 p.m. So this is presumably after everyone has returned home from work. And we find very similar things, 1 and 2 cars on each street. The 2 properties to the south of this property are the only houses that don't have driveways. Every other house on those 4 streets, those 4 blocks, all have parking lots or driveways. So we think that given this low demand by the residents for parking on the street, that we would ask for a waiver on the number of parking spaces required for the apartments, so that we could devote more spaces to when the bar is opened in the evening.
Excuse me, there's a parking lot across the street?
Yeah, the parking lot across the street is owned by the same person. On the site plan, it's the thing on the right-hand side.
And you're showing us here that there should be ample parking for any of the tenants specifically?
There
That's
are
what-
9 apartments, so we were looking for 8 apartments? 7?
Okay, so you have to talk about you adding 2 apartments from the last time.
No. Okay, 7 apartments. We have 11 spaces in the parking lot. So that's, we have no, I think we have 2 tenants? 2 tenants with cars for the 7 apartments.
And all 7 apartments are rented?
I think 5 are rented out.
You better repeat that if you're gonna.
5 are rented.
5 are rented, so there's a potential of
2
more
more.
cars, yeah. Could you please repeat the days and hours that the bar's gonna be open?
Yeah, it's going to be Tuesday through Sunday. We have brunch from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Every day or Sunday?
Tuesday through Sunday,
Brunch, every day?
Yes.
No?
lunch, brunch. And then on those same days, we have dinner hours from 5 to 11 p.m.
So you make it sound more like a restaurant than a bar, but we were told that it's a bar.
Well, by alcohol regulations, you have to serve some kind of food.
Yeah.
But the fact that they're doing it this way, yeah, they're looking more to serve. It doesn't have, we don't have dining tables and chairs. We have couches and tables and lounge.
And what's closing time?
11 p.m.,
And last call is at 10,
yes,
you say, on all those days?
yes.
Okay, thank you. Other questions? Okay, thank you, Mr. Pitcher.
You have any questions for the applicant? Okay,
Thank
we yield to whoever wants to speak in favor.
you. Okay, yes, thank you. Anyone wishing to speak in favor, please step up.
Good afternoon. My name is Andrea Wandersee. I'm the Executive Director of NIDA, and our address is 101 Gertrude Street in Syracuse. NIDA supports small businesses throughout the north side. We also focus on community development, and when Mr. Nelson's project first came to our attention, we had some concerns around street traffic, parking, some of the negative aspects that can happen with a bar restaurant in a more residential area. And Mr. Nelson and his partners sat with us and had a nice long conversation about what their goals were for the business and for the neighborhood. And we were very pleased with the conversation, the discussion, and the direction they would like to go with the business. Our small business facilitator, Dallas Bryson's been working with them very closely, will continue to do so. I know this is about parking, but I just wanted you to know that NEDA supports this project right now, and I know at least one of the neighbors has sent an updated letter changing their support to positive.
That's Mr. Logan.
Jonathan Link
And
Logan.
I was going to
Yes.
say that we did get a letter, very rare, that someone came up here to talk against it last time and now is in favor of it after talking to the applicant. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
and I'll let Mr. Nelson represent himself, but our sense was the restaurant component is a part of the vision for the business. So, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else wish to speak in favor of the application? You don't get to speak in favor of the applicant, so unless you have anything to add to the case, I would invite you to come up, but okay, thanks. Anybody wish to speak against the application? Hearing none, we'll move on to our next case. Thank you.
Our next case is V-22-11. It's an area variance request to waive the number of driveways at property located at 535 Oak Street. The proposal is to maintain 2 driveways. The owner applicant is Germano LLC. The zoning district is Office Class A.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Jeff Romano. I reside at 535 Oak Street. This is my property that I intend to, that I am applying for the area variance for my second driveway. I'm not installing a driveway at this point. It's an existing driveway that was placed approximately 1921. At the time, they took a part of the current basement of the house and dug out the hillside and put in a driveway and installed a garage in the basement of the home of the residents. So I am here to ask for area variance to grant that as an existing driveway, and I do have a second curb cut located on Oak Street, which there's no issue with proximity to intersections or other driveways on either Oak or Highland Ave.
You have 2 driveways at your house.
Yes, sir.
Tell us what you use both of them for.
My Oak Street driveway is primarily for parking. That's my only full depth driveway. I just actually had it repaved. And the Highland Ave driveway would be access so I could utilize the garage space. So I'd actually have a garage to use during winter, and for storage as well. So I can move cars, large items in and out easily.
It's a detached garage?
No, sir.
It's in the basement?
Yes. It's in the basement of the building. It was put in about 1921 as best I can figure from the records.
And do both driveways access the garage?
No, they do not. We're on different elevations. So Oak Street is at grade. The house is 3-4 feet off the ground. I've got a 60-foot driveway off of Oak Street, holds 3 cars.
And
Highland Ave is dropping in elevation from Oak Street, and so I have access into my basement for a garage.
you drive your car into the
I
basement?
cannot, at this time, if I had a golf cart, I could, but at this time, the opening has been modified approximately in the 80s, where there's a man door and a 6-foot overhead garage door. So they modified it for an egress hallway out of the basement and to isolate a storage room.
Did you put in the Oak Street driveway?
It was existing, I just had it repaved. I just had it replaced, actually.
That's not over. The other one, the Highland is.
I'm not sure, sir.
You don't know.
I don't know.
We typically don't have 2 driveways for a house. It sounds like the smaller one is a parking space, really, because you don't use it as a garage.
I can't currently use it as a garage, so I'm asking to have the variance approved so I can actually use it as a garage, and then the property becomes much more functional for me as a family. I have 2 young children. Yard is very small. I looked at actually building a garage in the yard, which would have required massive excavation because of the hill, the vertical difference between the street and the backyard. I'd have to remove street tree, a large 30-inch black walnut tree, and it wouldn't, I think it would be anti-neighborhood to do that. And so here, they put a garage in the 20s, obviously for the same reason that I'm looking at reinforcing and utilizing this garage, because there's really no space to put a garage. If you've seen any of the photos, my backyard's 30 feet deep. So I'm trying to balance children and playground and play space versus car storage.
So you're not using the garage because you don't have the variance, or that it doesn't fit? You said something about a golf cart.
Right, I can't get a car in there currently because I have like a 6x6 overhead door.
So what are you gonna do to be able to get a car?
Well, I got approval from the city preservation board to put a regular door, and I have that application if you want to take a look at it. It's got pictures that'll show you the proposed style of door, which is basically kind of a carriage style door because it's in a historic district.
And if I remember
There's a
correctly,
picture, I tried to share pictures earlier today, it didn't work. You
Sure.
see that it's a little garage door, it used to be bigger, I guess.
Can I approach? I guess.
Sure. So,
and the preservation board is in favor of this?
Yes,
As I
they
re-
put a
as I
letter of
recall.
support. So
So,
this
yeah,
is,
yeah, show him.
I'm sorry.
That's good.
So this is the Highland Ave side of the house, and this is the opening here, so it's a 6x6 door. I have to duck. when I
So
open
it's
it
a
up.
short driveway, it's not a long
It's
driveway.
16 feet, yeah.
So
The
it's-
house is very close to the street.
Right, actually, okay.
You're on the preservation board, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, you're on the preservation?
Yeah, well,
I didn't know.
I'm still scrutinized.
Yes, sure. No, I didn't
Do you own
realize.
that property that's behind the house?
There's the lot.
Lot, is that your lot?
Well, there's just the backyard, yeah, that's my backyard. So
This was,
this space behind the house, if you,
I think these look familiar.
this is the lot here. So this is Oak Street, this is the driveway, and this is my backyard.
Okay. Fine, we need to record, so,
Yeah,
okay.
here's a site plan here on the foundation. So here's the house, this is Oak, this is my driveway off of Oak that I just had redone. And this is my little driveway here off of Highland Ave that allows access to that. So it's only about 16 feet deep.
And there's no neighborhood disagreement with this or anything
No,
like that?
I had neighbors call me, I'm not sure if they actually emailed or sent a letter in support. I had a few people ask me, specifically 215 Highland called me. She asked me, she was in favor of it. 214 called me and was asking about it, and I explained it to them. And I don't know if they committed or if
It
they.
doesn't get in the way of anybody, I gather.
No, sir, it's an existing, there's a driveway across the street that's kind of offset, that services a nursing care facility. And they have frequent buses come in and out transporting people, but there's been no issue
do
there.
you have something showing your plan for the garage door?
All right, this is my image of what the garage door would look like. It wouldn't be an overhead door because I'm in the basement and it's restricted in height. So this would be a classic folding door basically.
We had in our
That
packet.
you manually open?
Correct, yeah, so there'd be a man door, kind of as there is now, but then you have two doors that would fold to the right.
That was in our packet. That was in the
Yeah,
packet.
I'm not sure what you guys saw, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
it's in the
yeah, it's in the pack too. Okay, thank you.
How do you need this for reference? Yeah, you should have it on file.
Yeah. The city ordinance says you can only have one driveway.
And if I can just show you, this was in your packet, just showing the current floor plan of the basement, grade, basement level. So this was modified in the 80s, as best I can take, when they created a dormitory in the building. And they cut up the garage space as a laundry room, an egress space, and then just a storage.
So how many cars do you think you can park inside?
It depends what kind of, if I had a Volkswagen, I'd probably put two in there, tandem, back to back, it's about 30 feet.
Pickup truck, maybe one.
Right, and I've got 8-foot clearance, but then I have sprinklers that kind of stick low, so I'm trying to to maximize the height of the door opening, so it fits. So, but I'd just be reopening historic 1920s. And this was all done in the 20s, so it's actually concrete, plaster and lacquer. It's almost like so thick it's concrete. So it's all sealed, it's all there. I'm just peeling back the layers from the last 30, 40 years.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so are you done with your presentation?
If you have any questions.
Any other
sir,
questions?
I'm here for the time that you need me.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody here wish to speak in favor of the application? Anybody here wish to speak against the application? Hearing none, we'll move on to our next case.
The next case is V-22-12, a use variance to waive permitted uses at 2216 to 2224 East Calvin Street. A proposal to establish a restaurant. GSL Management LLC is the owner. La Rosteria Inc. is the applicant, and the zoning district is Residential Service District.
Good afternoon. My name's Justin Furry. I'm with the Willars Law Firm. Address is...
What's the last name, please?
Justin Furry.
Spell that, please.
Furry.
Thank you.
The address is 6312 Fly Road, East Syracuse, New York. I'm presenting today on behalf of the applicant. Also in attendance today is the owner, Rosario Mato, Joe Script of the Scripta Group, who is the broker for La Rosteria, and Jim Niddle of In Architects. Just want to give a little background on the site and the property. The applicant, GSL Management, who owns the property, they purchased it June 12th of 2020. At the time, it was a mixed-use property. It consisted of a 3-bedroom ranch-style apartment, and also connected to it was a small commercial space, which was a UPS store. After the applicant bought the property, they renovated it and turned it into 3 separate retail spaces, and that was done approximately by August of 2020. At that time, the applicant hired University Hill Realty to promote the property, to try to get tenants in there to lease the different spaces. During that time, activity on the unit as a whole was kind of average, but the applicant was able to fill 2 of the 3 spots, one with a convenience shop in November of 2020, and then a barber shop in March of 2021. The corner unit of the lot remained vacant this whole time. Activity on that was very poor for various different reasons. During the remainder of 2020 and 2021, the property was shown to over 20 different potential tenants, only 6 or 7 of which were serious. It always seemed like at the time, on paper, they were interested in the property, but once they actually went out and viewed it, they had different concerns for various reasons. The main concerns were with that corner lot was delivery access, ingress and egress for customers, and also parking for customers and employees. The tenants that were shown the property, the tenants who did seem to have an interest of it were all tenants that were an allowable use for the zoning district. It was mainly beauty parlors, salons, and some small office space uses. They all decided to go in a different direction for these various reasons, the egress, the access, stuff like that. For the remainder of 2020 and 2021, that unit remained vacant until January of 2022, when the applicant reached an agreement with La Rosteria, who is the operator of Cafe Cubal in the areas, to open a location there. A restaurant, coffee shop use is not allowed in the district, so we are requesting today for a variance to allow a coffee shop use there. This is a unique situation to this specific unit in this building. The logistics of the building and the land itself, there's these limitations that certain businesses can't utilize. But it utilizes itself well to a coffee shop where you have customers not necessarily sticking around for a while, but coming in, grabbing a coffee, and going. This potential use, it's not going to change the essential character of the neighborhood. The site itself is on Julian Place, right off of East Colvin Street. That street itself is, although it's next to a residential neighborhood, it is mostly commercial. There is another unit building out there that is all commercial use that includes a pet clinic, a martial arts studio, and a restaurant and original Italian pizza. It's also right next to the Nottingham Plaza right there, which is in the town of DeWitt, but it includes a Tops, there's a liquor store, Western Union, all commercial kind of in the area. So although it is next to residential areas, itself it fits itself well for the area and the neighboring businesses that are next to it. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
I used to have a mailbox at the UPS store. I go to Nottingham Pet Clinic. It's my neighborhood.
Right, yeah.
And I have to spread myself to think about it being next to residential because it's shielded.
It's
not.
No one's
part
going to
of
be
residential.
driving through a neighborhood to get to this location. It is on the outside of any residential
So
houses.
what are the day and hours of the coffee shop?
Right now, the proposed hours, as I am aware, it's going to be 8 to 5 every day. Those hours may change just based on the need of that location. If they seem like they could have more hours to serve the community in that area, it might change, but at the beginning, the plan is 8 to 5, kind of normal coffee shop hours.
So potential tenants that fit within the code past, one of the reasons you said is parking. Why is that not an issue for Cafe Cubal?
Like I said, I think parking's always an issue, but it is, for a coffee shop, it's not as big as, let's say, a hair salon or a office space where you're going to have employees there all day, or you have your employees and then your customers. A beauty salon could be there 2-3 hours for a hair appointment or something like that. Yes, you might have some customers enjoy the coffee shop, read a newspaper while they drink their coffee, but there's not that lingering effect as it would there. The applicant and Cafe Cubal feel confident that it's not going to be an issue for this location for a coffee shop.
Now, is this in the building, is this going to be at the top of the ramp or at the bottom of the ramp in the quick?
So, and that picture, it's on the outside most near Colvin Street.
If you're facing the building. it's
As
on
you're
the left.
facing the building, it's on the right.
The right, if it's towards Cobble Street, yeah.
Yeah, the other two are filled.
Right, that's why I said it's the right, yeah.
Right, yes.
And that was part of the UPS, or the apartments are gone now, or?
The apartments are gone. It's all been renovated
Oh, okay.
into these 3 spots
Yeah,
now.
I've seen
Yeah.
the building, okay. Other questions?
You said maybe that would be open later in the evening. Can you be more specific about the hours?
Right now, from what I understand, the proposed hours are normal business hours, maybe 8 to 5. The hours, and that might change just based on the need. It's not going, you're not gonna have bar hours for a coffee shop or anything like that. That might disrupt the neighboring
If we grant a
areas.
variance, it will say these are the hours, and you'll have to stick to that.
What's that? Can you say?
If we do grant a variance, we're going to ask you to stick to the hours you say. So what hours are they?
8 to 5, that is generally their other location hours, so that plans to be the hours.
Board members, can you look at page 107? And also, I think at page 84, there's not actually a number on it, but that shows what was supposed to be there for the sidewalk and what's not there.
That would be 84.
Well, there's no number on it. Sequence of 84.
That's where I'm at.
Okay, so well, here's what I see.
No.
Looks like this on one
I
side.
can look at it right here.
No, wait a minute.
Here's what the sidewalk was supposed to be. And here's what it is not. They didn't do it. Here's what the sidewalk plan had been, and that's what the transportation planner is saying, they didn't do it.
But that's Julian Plaza, is that his building?
Yeah.
Or is that the building with with Nottingham Penn
That
Clinic?
is his building.
Okay. Yeah, I guess it is.
Is it a real photo or an architectural? I think it's a rendering, but the photo looks the same. So, here's what the.
He's looking and you know what he's
Yeah.
saying. So he's showing us, but you're gonna have to address that.
Yeah, definitely.
you see
The
here,
owner is,
right up to it.
oh, sorry.
And transportation planner saying you didn't do what you promised to do.
Yeah, he's gonna, Mike, he's gonna respond to that.
The owner is aware that the sidewalk was in the original site plan. He has every intention of putting the sidewalk in there in the future. That's what I'm told today. He's actually here right now. He can speak on it if you want him to, but he has every intention of putting that sidewalk in. He knows it was originally a part of the plans, and he plans on putting it in once this is all settled.
Other questions? Any other questions? Do we want to ask the owner? Do you have any questions of? Okay, yeah, let's hear from the owner. The owner, is that what you?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Is this the building owner or the?
The building owner.
Not the business owner, the building owner. Okay.
Hi, my name is Rosario Amato.
And your address, please?
The address of the location?
No, your address.
Oh, my address is 134 Brennan Fields Run, Manlius, New York.
Gotcha, okay. So, in the plan there, it says it's gonna be a sidewalk.
Yes.
And your representative said you plan on doing that eventually. Can you be more
Correct.
specific?
Sooner than later. We just got the,
That's not much more specific.
we're gonna get it done by springtime.
Okay.
It'll be done. We just got the lawn all set up. We had to come in and get the excavating done. The blacktop got done late this year. So that's in the plans to get the sidewalk done next.
If we were to stipulate that the restaurant can't open until the sidewalk is done, is that acceptable?
Well, I think the restaurant's looking to open as soon as possible. And I don't think I can get anybody there to get the walkway done that fast.
We would condition it on exactly what you just said. So,
City would already.
yes, because the transportation planner has spoken, if you will, and we approved a plan based on what they said they were going
Yeah,
to do.
and they didn't do it.
previously.
So,
Right,
in
so
other words,
we
this
would-
is not even within our realm. The city is going to require you to have the sidewalk before you
Yeah.
open the restaurant.
Oh, the city's gonna require it?
Yeah, right.
Before, okay.
And we're part of the city, but other agencies in the city. So.
Sure.
Anything else? Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody here wish to speak in favor of the application? Anybody wish to speak against the application? Hearing none, do we have another case? Oh. Keep on coming.
Our next case is V-22-13, use variance request to waive permitted uses at 317 to 319 and 321 Craddock Street. A request to expand a non-conforming two-family dwelling. The owner applicant is Eve Mae Dixon and the Greater Syracuse Property Development Corporation. The zoning district is residential class A1.
Is the applicant present? Oh, there you are.
Here I am.
Yeah, how you doing?
Eva Dixon was here, but her grandson was sick, so they left. It's okay.
Please. Okay, go ahead.
So I'm Terry Luckett from the Syracuse Land Bank at 431 East Fayette Street. 317 Craddock Street's a two-family home. It was built in 1915. Eva Dixon purchased that house in 1994. Her granddaughter lives on the ground floor, and she lives upstairs. She'd like to acquire the vacant lot that the land bank owns next door at 321 Craddock Street and merge it with her property. The house is in a residential class A1 zoning district, so a use variance is required to expand that non-conforming use. So that's why I'm here. Can I go through the standards of proof?
Sure.
So it's a two-family and an RA1.
But the combination of the lots,
It's triggering her being here because
right, so what are you doing, what's happening with that other lot?
We filed for a re-subdivision.
Yeah.
To combine that lot with her house. It's just a vacant lot.
Oh, okay, just, it's adding land to,
It's
Adding land to
expanding
her
a
house.
non-conforming. So it's the two-family is non-conforming to the zoning, and now they're adding more land to it, which requires a variance.
It's an expansion of that non-conforming use. Did I get that right?
that was grandfathered in. The two-family house was grandfathered, right?
Well, we're assuming she's been living in it since 1994.
oh, so the other property was your agency's property?
Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yes.
And has she purchased it, or she will based on the decision?
That's part of the whole process. Her contract with us is required that the re-subdivision be approved.
So, you want to go through the standards of proof? That'd be helpful.
I would like
Thank you.
that, thank you. The family would experience a financial hardship if the variance wasn't granted and if she still wanted to acquire that vacant lot. So in that scenario, which would never happen, she would have to configure her house to absorb the second apartment. Her granddaughter would be forced to relocate and pay rent elsewhere. Renovation costs for something like that is estimated at $50,000 due to architectural design fees. She'd have to reconfigure walls, she'd have to reconfigure electric, heating, plumbing, gas lines. That's the bottom cost for that, for people doing that, is $50,000, so that's an estimate. Miss Dixon she's 78 years old, and at this time in her life, she neither wants nor needs additional living space. Realtor.com shows the values on that street ranging from $50,000 to $98,000. And if she were to sell her property, she would never recoup those renovation costs plus the purchase price of her house, which was $54,000. Number 2, unique circumstances. This property is unique amongst the other houses on the street because of the 6 other two-family homes, this is the only one that's owner-occupied. It's also unique because it's sitting next to a vacant lot. At 2,100 square feet, 317 Craddock Street is 88% larger than the average single-family home on that street. And if she were forced to convert her house to a single family, it would be outsized compared to her neighbors. Number 3, essential neighborhood character. The approval of the variance to expand the non-conforming use will not be a detriment to the character of the neighborhood. The street's zoned residential Class A1, but it's made up of 14 single families and 7 other two families. The application doesn't involve any changes to the number of units. It merely adds additional yard space from a vacant lot that's already existing. So there's going to be no change in the character of the neighborhood. And self-created hardship, number 4, it was not Eva Dixon's fault that the adjacent property owner let their property fall into tax delinquency and abandonment. The land bank supports this variance because it will ensure that the property is maintained. Ms. Dixon will pay taxes on the property and increase the value of her home, thereby increasing the values of the neighborhood.
Questions?
She wouldn't be here, but they have a vacant lot next door to it. There's no option to build a new property on this
I don't know if
vacant
you
lot?
saw the survey, it's a weird triangular shaped corner lot that's, I don't even think there was ever a house on that lot. I called codes and asked if anything was ever demolished there. And they said they never had record of there being a house there, so,
So she didn't purchase this. Does she own both properties now?
no, the land bank owns the vacant lot.
I see. Just ask her.
That's cool.
Ask anybody but me.
Oh, okay, well, you're a smart guy. If they didn't get the vacant lot, would everything still be okay? They could live in their house and without the vacant lot? This is just something,
It's been there since 1994, so I'm going to say yes. I mean, it's just something she wants to beautify the neighborhood. She wants to plant
Okay,
flowers
that-
and
that seems
make it look pretty on that corner.
other questions? Thank you, Terry. Anybody wish to speak in favor of the application? Anybody wish to speak against the application? We will move on. We don't have another case, right? We have a new business. Is that correct? 337 Park Street?
Time extension.
So the 18-24 is time extension request. Is there anybody here representing this? No? Then we'll just take a look at it. We gave them a variance in 2018. Well, this is you too, Terry, right? Yeah, sure. You want to just tell us, give us an overview?
Yeah, so it's an area, there's already an area variance for 337 Park Street that waives required density, lot width, and required parking. That expired on August 20th. You approved that. I don't know if you've been by there, but the house is up on a hill. There's absolutely no way to get parking in there. The guy who purchased it's gonna convert it from a 3-family to a 2-family, so that's not the issue. We're just looking to get the area variance extended. It's a timing issue. We finally the area variance got approved in, I think, 2018. We didn't sell the property to the current developer until December of 2021. He has until December of 2022 to finish. So we're just asking for an extension so that he can get his renovations finished and get it leased up.
Do you have an idea when he may finish?
I don't think he's gonna be finished by December. He needs a change of occupancy permit, and the permitting process takes a long time. He's gotta get an architect and redesign it.
You're asking
And
for
then-
another year here, that's what
I'm
you're
asking for a year from this August, and hopefully he'll be done.
Any questions? Any questions? Do you want to cover this now? You want to make a motion? Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, then I make a motion to
Approve the extension.
approve the variance extension. Is there a second?
I'll second.
No.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
None opposed, so we're all set with that. Then we'll go back to the first case, 910, 912, 913.
Stu, I think you have a
Am
question.
I able to make one more comment on our application? Just to answer the question about the hours, I got more clarification on what the potential hours might be, just to answer.
Can I do that? Am I allowed to do that?
You can reopen the hearing.
Just to answer his question
Okay, I'll
fully.
reopen the hearing. Do we need a vote on that?
Yes.
Okay, all those in favor of reopening the
I
hearing?
move that we reopen the hearing. Second?
Seconds, all in favor say aye.
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 Thank you for doing it. I just got clarification from Cafe Kubal, the owner. I want to give you a better answer to your question about the hours. Some of their locations vary. Some of them open at 7, and they have some that close at 10 p.m. They think that this location might eventually be in that range, maybe open at 7 a.m., close at 10 p.m., because the location is very close to the south campus of Syracuse University. So they might want to capitalize on those students waking up early to go to their 8 a.m. classes, or who might be studying late for exams.
Also, Tops opens at 7.
Right, Tops opens at 7. A lot of the businesses in the areas are open at that time and are open later in through the night. There's no plans on it being open bar hours. It's not going to be open until 2 a.m., but
People buy coffee at 10 o'clock at night?
There possibly could be a student studying for an exam. I know during college, I definitely had a few cups of coffee at night. So that's all I wanted to say. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
Oh, okay.
So are you stating for the record that the hours of operation are no longer Sunday to
5.
Saturday, 8 to 5, that they are now 7 to 10?
Yes, that's what, if the variance is granted, that's what we would like it to state. The plan right now, I think, is to open, see what the kind of the need is for the area, but he does suspect, because it is close to the south side of campus where all the students are living, that there might be this need to open earlier before classes start and maybe a little bit later, just to serve
So
those students.
she's looking for something specific that if we need to change, we should
7
change it
7 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Monday through Sunday, the whole week, or?
all week, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, because the resolution will specifically state those hours need to be abided by,
Okay,
so just to let you know that.
okay, thank you.
Okay.
Perfect, thank you, guys.
Case is closed.
Close the hearing again.
Okay.
Well-
Yes?
I'm wondering if you should ask for anyone in favor or opposition, because you did reopen it.
Oh, okay. Is
To be
anybody who
fair.
wants to speak in favor of that? Is there anybody who wants to speak against that? Hearing none. Thank you very much. Try again. V1601M2 continuation. This is the Park Street. Do we have a motion? This is the bar.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
And I have to go through these standards.
Yes.
Should know them by heart by now. but-
Yeah, it's on
Don't.
page 4.
4. Yeah.
Okay. Will there be a change to the neighborhood character? The building has been unused for a very long time, and putting it back to useful use will definitely benefit the neighborhood. Are there alternate solutions available so that a variance is not needed? It doesn't seem that there is. There is the parking on both properties, and that should be sufficient to what's needed for the residential parking.
Hold on a second. Having said that, you're voting to waive the parking, so there will be no residential parking in that lot.
Yes.
The request is to waive the residential required parking, so
And
to
it does
waive 7 spots. So I just want you to realize what you're doing.
I know what he's doing.
No, I know that, but what he just said seems to counter that, so I just wanted to be.
This is for the record, she's right, and we are waiving the parking requirement for the residential portion of the building. It does appear that there's adequate parking on the street, and that's our justification for doing so. What's the magnitude of the variance being requested? It is 7 parking spaces, I believe, and it looks like there is more than enough space on the street on a given day to absorb that. Will there be adverse effect to the surrounding neighborhood if this variance is approved? Well, there will be 7 cars parking on the street, but there will also be the benefit of the building being put back to useful commerce. Is this a self-created difficulty? I would say it's not, and I'll leave it at that.
Anything to add, Mr. Jennings?
What I would add, will there be a change to the neighborhood's character? I would say no, but I think it would be an enhancement to just have a business there to help that community. And are there alternative solutions available so that a variance are not needed? And as was stated, we are going to waive that particular criteria. And if I go down to the 4th item, will there be an adverse effect on the surrounding neighborhood if this variance is approved? I don't think there'll be an adverse effect to the neighborhood whatsoever. I think it will be a positive. So on the north side of the city, any business that could come in there to help enhance and improve that neighborhood would be fantastic.
Thank you. All those in favor of approving the application, the variance, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That's unanimous. You're all set. You're welcome. Good luck. V2211, area variance, waive number of driveways, 535 Oak Street. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve with conditions.
Let's hear those conditions.
The condition is that the driveway can't be used as a parking spot until the garage door is changed and cars can park inside the garage.
Okay. Is there a second?
A second.
Okay, thank you. Again, back to your
Page 4.
page 4, which
Which
you
I
never
don't
found
have.
before. I got it.
I missed the staple, which holds this all together.
7.
Sure.
Will there be a change to the neighborhood character? There will be a slight change because there are 2 driveways. That's something we have always been unhappy with, but the approval by the Landmark Board helps to encourage me to allow this. I think that the way that the garage door is to be done will enhance the neighborhood and be an improvement over what there is now. Are there alternate solutions available so that a variance is not needed? There are 2 driveways. There could be the removal of one of the driveways, but it is a small lot with a big house, and I think that it's justified in this situation. What's the magnitude of the variance being requested? It is small. The driveway is close to the house. It's going to be a short shot from the house to the garage. Will there be an adverse effect on the surrounding neighborhood if this variance is approved? I think that the change of the garage door, which probably wouldn't happen otherwise, will be an improvement. Is this a self-created difficulty? The applicant, this is an old house, and the applicant is doing the best, I think, with what he finds when he purchased the property.
Now, can I hear you repeat the condition again?
The condition right now, because nobody can go into the garage, it's simply a parking spot on the side of the house. It's a parking area within the front yard setback, which.
Yeah, it's not a legal parking space.
And so the only condition is that vehicles cannot park there. It's just a way to get into the garage. Until the garage is redeveloped, I guess, it can't be used as a parking spot.
Anything else? You don't have to go through the criteria, just
I know, yeah.
want to add.
Yeah, my addition.
Do you have anything to add?
Yeah. I just think it would enhance the neighborhood in a great way. I'm excited about what the improvements that the homeowner has made, and I concur with what Mike has stated.
No, I'll just add to that. You know, Mike said it will be a change in the neighborhood, and we don't have to argue it, but it's been there. One driveway's been there over 100 years. The other one's been there probably 40 years. So I don't think the neighborhood's going to change, but there will be an enhancement if you get that garage working as well. All in favor of approving the variance, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Well said. Next, Calvin Street, use variance waive permitted uses, 2224 East Calvin Street, to establish the restaurant. It's a use variance. Is there a motion?
Well, I'll make a motion, we approve.
Or a second?
To be clear, we do not have to specify that they will redo the sidewalk. That is a given.
That's not up for us to specify.
I think you should, but it is a condition because the transportation planner won't be signing off on the permit until that's done anyways, and it was part of a previously approved plan. So
You'd recommend that we have language saying that it's on the condition of the sidewalk.
Being in their original site plan. Okay.
right, or they would have to come back and modify that plan.
With us. Okay.
Okay, can the applicant cannot realize the reasonable return?
Was there a second? You did. That was
Yeah, Mike seconded.
My second?
Yes.
Yeah, Mike did.
The conditions, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, the applicant cannot realize the reasonable return. We've heard that the property was advertised, and people have looked at it, and they had no bites for the renting until this proposal came about, so we'll say they cannot get a reasonable return. The alleged hardship relating to the property in question is unique, and does not apply, well, it does not apply to a substantial portion of the district. The building is a commercial building, and we're just allowing the another unique use for that. And the requested variance, if granted, it will not alter the essential character of the neighborhood, being that a lot of businesses are already in that little plaza. And the alleged hardship is not created, it's not self-created, it's because of the condition, economic conditions, people aren't renting, and this is a tenant he has in line. And also, it's a negative seeker. And the condition would be that the sidewalk would be made as per the submitted site plan.
We don't have to say anything about the changed hours in the plan there?
That's already on the record?
We will state that in the resolution,
Gotcha,
that during the hearing, the applicant's representative stated that the hours will be 7 a.m. to 10 p.m.
And we should, it'll say coffee shop, that will be specifically.
Restaurant, yeah.
Restaurant. See, the neighbors around the corner are worried about the restaurant serving alcohol and that sort of thing.
It's just the title, that's just the
If-
classification.
If a restaurant, yeah, I mean, it would be subject to New York State licensing. So because the New York State preempts us on tobacco and alcohol.
We've been through this before, we can't say no alcohol.
Right. We cannot.
And just the variance goes with the property, not the,
And with the plans and conditions
Right,
that
yeah.
are set forth in the resolution.
and as long as it's Cafe Cubal, I assume there will not be alcohol, but that doesn't mean in the future.
next tenant.
Yeah, right, but, take our shot. Okay, so we're ready to vote, right?
Second, I got the second?
Right, do you have any other comments, Mike?
I like the way they've remodeled the building. I'm distressed that they didn't follow the plan for the sidewalk, and I certainly hope that gets done.
Yeah, maybe it's true.
Cafe Cabal downtown opens on some nights till 10.
And the only thing that I would add to is that I feel that the owners, I know the owners, and they have all the OIPs, and they do a fantastic job with them in maintaining property and following standards, so.
Cabal owner?
No.
Not Cabal.
No, the property owners. I mean, yeah, like I said, I'm a,
Yeah,
yeah.
he owns a lot of OIPs, so I'm,
we Johnny's Pizza.
he's going to come through and do what needs to be done.
Yeah. Okay, good. Okay, all those in favor of approving the variance, say aye.
Aye.
It's unanimous. One more. Use variance waive permitted uses for 317, 319, and 321 Craddock Street. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion we approve.
I'll second.
Okay, the applicant cannot realize a reasonable return. We heard from Terry that to turn the current residential house there into a one-family would cost probably $50,000, which would be almost at the limit of what the house is worth. The alleged hardship relating to the property in question is unique. While this woman's home here, it's been a two-family since the house was built in the 1900s. The requested variance, if granted, will not alter the essential character of the neighborhood. There's really no change to her home. Acquiring the lot, which next door will probably enhance landscaping around the place. And the alleged hardship is not self-created because it's, because of the rules, because of the reconfiguration of the property lines, it brings this about, and it's a negative seeker.
Hey, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
It's unanimous. We had a good day. We approved all of the applications. Now, we have one authorization for September 15th. Do I have a motion to approve that? Lancaster Avenue, second.
Second.
Third. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Motion to adjourn.
Second. Go ahead.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Adjourned and empty.